Today, Orabella and I are going to answer a viewer question about a Hahn's versus a green cheek. I'm hoping Orabella gets more up and into the picture. Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond. I have over 22 species of parrots. I love my parrots. My parrots are my bliss, and my mission is to help you have a more blissful bond with your parrots. Right now, my blissful Orabella is hiding. Come here. There you go. Now that way people can see you. She likes to hide. There you go. You want to hide there? Yeah, there you go. How's that? There you go. Hi, pretty bird. You're such an awesome bird. Yes. Hi, baby. So the viewer's question is, like I said, about green cheek versus Hahn's macaw, and the questions are they both good family birds? Do they both need a friend? The viewer understands that green cheeks don't need a friend. And was that it? Are they both good family birds? I think so, right? I think that's the basis of it. They're trying to decide whether to get a green cheek or a Hahn's for their family, including a young child. I don't know the age. I don't know how young. I will say this. When it comes to any animal, whether it's a cat and a dog or a snake, maybe not a scorpion, certainly a parrot, with children, you have to teach your child how to be with the animal, and maybe don't get a poisonous snake, a scorpion. You know, that might not be a good idea no matter what. But I'm trying to be funny, but my point is, if you're going to have a parrot for your child, which I think is kind of a really cool idea, I think you also just have to be really careful. I think it's a really great opportunity to teach them that they can have a relationship with an animal, but that the animal will bite them, can bite them, and with this beak can hurt them if they aren't respectful and kind to the animal. So really good time and a good lesson for that. When you are respectful and kind to the animal, you can have them on your body and in your face without being scared. I super duper trust Orabella. She and I have a very mutually respectful relationship, as you can see. Now, I have had, of course, a Hahn's macaw in the past. I have had green cheek, well, I have green cheeks now. Green cheeks, I want to dispel a myth. When you only have one green cheek conure, they tend to get needy. I was talking to my vet today, who said she and her husband were buying a house, and I think they were kind of working on remodeling some of it. So their birds were kind of in small cages for a little while because they were squeezed into a tight space while the remodeling got done. And now they're in their new home, and she said the green cheek's so happy because the green cheek gets to come out more. And the green cheek is like just so thrilled to see them. And she's like, my green cheek's telling me that it's time for a friend. And I said, yeah, I'm sure it is, you know, because green cheeks, like so many other species of parrots, not 100% of them, they are so super social. They like being at least around other parrots, all of them do. So unless they're off breeding during the breeding season, at which point they just want to be with their mate, one of the best things you can do for a parrot is to give them a friend. So green cheek conures, if you find that your green cheek conure is being needy, they probably need a friend. Although it's harder to introduce a new kid on the block once you've established a relationship with your green cheek conure or your Hahn's macaw, because then your current bird sees the new bird sometimes as a threat. And they're like, I just want all of your time and attention. I don't want a new bird. So that can be a transition, a tricky transition sometimes. This does mean that I am suggesting that if you are getting either green cheek or a Hahn's macaw for your family and for a family pet, I do think it's really a good idea to get two, either green cheeks or Hahn's macaws, because you don't want either of those birds to get needy. Sometimes when they get needy, they can get a bitey, you know, they're kind of trying to get your attention. They're kind of grasping for you, and especially with a little kid, that could equate to something a little painful that doesn't need to be that way. If the bird's, you know, just trying to get some attention. Now, are these a good family pet? Ironically, green cheek conures can become one-person parrots, where they have one person that they are in love with, especially when there's only one in the family, and then they will be protective of that person and won't necessarily be nice to other people. With our Hahn's macaw, Emerald, she was a gem. She was super fantastic. She did like more than just one person in the family. She didn't have any other Hahn's macaws. We didn't think she would want one because she just showed no interest in any of the other birds that she had to choose from. So we did leave her on her own, and sometimes she was a little needy. Overall, she wasn't too bad, but she was also older. She wasn't a young bird, and that can have some effect on things. So like I was saying, Emerald wasn't a one-person parrot. She did like several members of the family. And of course, she spoke more clearly than a green cheek. Some people love when a parrot speaks. If you're after the speaking quality, your Hahn's macaw is going to have more of that. Of course, the Hahn's macaw is also going to cost a significant amount more than the green cheek. So I will say, if you have the means, a mini macaw is kind of just an awesome choice. I hope that gives some really good ideas on getting a green cheek, hopefully too, or getting a Hahn's macaw, hopefully too. Both fabulous, fabulous, awesome pets, especially when you put the time in. If you give them plenty of your time and attention, then one of the things that happens is, whether you have one or two, they're going to be happy. And if you don't have a whole lot of time and attention, keep in mind that when there's two of them, they stay happier because they have an immediate flock. Thanks for joining Orabella and I in this blissful video. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to put them below. And if you are looking for an African gray baby, let me know. I'm going to be hopefully weaning a couple of them, and they do need homes to go to. So I will have maybe one or two African gray babies available. And if you contact me on Facebook or the Instagram Messenger, or send a message on my website, you can send me the deposit and make it your baby if you like. I will see you in the next blissful video.